Hello all. So in the previous video we have seen about functions and some of the examples of the function. In order to get much more deeper knowledge, we are going to see further more examples in this video. Okay, then first we will go with a basic example. So in this example we are going to get two even numbers and we are going to return the smaller of the two even numbers. For example, if you are giving 2 and 8, you are going to return 2. We are starting with the def keyword and even check is the function name. So here we need two arguments, which is a and b. Then hit tab, you will get the indented block. So the first thing we have to check is whether both the numbers are even. So for that we are going to use a if case. If a modulo 2 equal to 0, which means a is an even number. And then we are going to and b modulo 2 equal to 0. So you should note here we should not use bitwise and here. We should type and. This is different in Python, you have to make note of it. And then same we have to use the indented block and hit enter. So if both the numbers are even, we have to return the smallest number. So in the first case we find both the number are even, it will come inside the if case. Okay, within the indented block we have to return the smallest number. So for that we are using a if case. If a less than b, which means a is smaller, then if this is true, then it should return true or return a. Here I'm just storing it in a variable called rit a. So be clear with our first case. So if everything is even, both the numbers are even, and if a less than b, then the return variable will have a, since a is the smallest of the two even numbers. Else it should return b, because if a less than b is false, then obviously b is the smallest number. So it's returning b. So in case if any one of the number or both the number are not even, then it should return the lowest even number, which means it should not return odd number. So for that we are going to elif case. So initially we are checking both are even, if not it will come into elif. Then here we are checking a modulo 2 equal to 0. So if a is even, then it should return a. So we are storing a in the return variable here. If this if case becomes false, then it directly go to else and it will return b, because obviously b is the only even number then. So I think this is clear up to now. Okay, finally we should return using the return keyword to the function call. So below that I'm just directly within the print statement I'm calling the function print even check, and then I'm passing the two numbers 2, 4. So my expectation is it should return 2. Okay, near the elif it's showing invalid syntax. Okay, I will go with else. Now you can see it's returning 2. So if I pass 2, 1, obviously it's returning 2, because 2 is the only even number. Okay, now let's tweak the example a little bit. So if both the numbers are not even, then we can return the odd number present. So for that we just have to change the condition here. If a modulo 2 not equal to 0. So if you run this, you can see it's returning 1, which is the odd number among the two numbers. So if you pass minus 8, 8, it will return the smallest of the two even numbers, which is minus 8. And if you change to 0, 8, then it will return 0. So this if else case is not necessary, because there is already a predefined function called min, which will return minimum of two values which pass to it. So you can use it of the same way. You can store the result in the return keyword, return variable, and then you can get the same result. You can see for 0, 8, it's returning 0. You pass 4, 8, it's returning 4. So you can use of these kind of functions to get your result. I think this lesser of two even example is clear now. We can move on to the next example. In this example, we will check whether the sum is 20 or any one of the argument or variable is 20. So it should return true in that case. Else it should return false. So this is quite easy. Let's see how to implement this. So for that, we are defining def check, and then we are taking two arguments in our function after indentation. Okay, here in the if case, we will first check whether the sum is equal to 20 or not. So for that, we will just add both the variables x plus y, and then we will check whether which is equal to 20. So in that case, it should return true. So this is a boolean here, and then we have to check whether any one of the variable is 20, either x or y. So for that, in the elif, we are just checking whether x equal to 20, then it should return true. In the next elif, we can check y equal to 20, and then it should return true. If all the three cases are false, then we can directly go to else case and we can return false. So this is our function. It solves our problem statement. We can check this by calling it. So within the print, I'm just calling the check function and passing two values 10, 10. Obviously, it's the sum is 20 and it's returning true. So if we change the value, then it's returning false. Okay, I'm keeping one of the variable is 20. Now also it's returning true because it's satisfying the condition. Okay, we can make this say a single line statement by using the OR case, because we are checking three conditions here. We can directly equate our problem statement into the condition. So if x plus y equal to 20, or x equal to 20, or y equal to 20. So if any one of these three is true, or all these three is true, it will return true. Else it will return false. You can see the same result here. So this is how you just have to simplify your functions in cases whenever it's possible. So I think this example is now clear for you. Now let's move on to the third example. So in this example, we will find out the prime number within the given number, which means if we give 10, our function should calculate how many prime numbers are present from 0 to 10. Okay, for that I'm defining a function as prime and getting only one argument, which is the number. So there will be two cases in prime number. If we give number less than 2, then there will be 0 and 1, which is neither prime nor composite. So our function should return a null value, which can be 0. For that, I'm just using the if case here. If num less than 2, then it should return 0, which means no prime numbers are present within the given number. If it is greater than 2, then we should do the following calculation. Okay, so here we will create an empty list, which is our prime list, and we will start with 2, because if number is greater than 2, if it start from 3 to infinity, then obviously 2 is a prime number, and then we know, and then we will start our a with 3. So we will find each prime number and add it to our list and return the count of our list. Okay, let's see how to do that. So I'm creating a while loop here. While a less than or equal to 3, then our loop continues. So within the loop, we are again using a for loop for x in range 3 to x. 3 to x, and 2 is the step size. So within that, we are just using the modulo function. If x modulo y equal to 0, which means it's perfectly divisible by that number, then we should add 2 to our x. Then we can use our break case. So if you use break, it will come out of the for loop. If the number x is not completely divisible by y, then we should, okay, this is not if else, this is for else. Just make a note of it. And in the else part, we will just append the number x to our list, which we created earlier, which is our prime list. So this process continues, and then we will get the prime numbers within the number which we pass it as argument to this function. So instead of a, there we can make x less than equal to 3, and we can use y here. Okay, this is the slightest change you need to note now. Then we will finally append our x to our prime list. So our prime numbers will be stored in the prime list. Then we will add 2 to our x, and finally we will print the prime numbers. It is stored in our list format in prime list, and we will return the count which will be length of our prime list. Okay, now you can see how our function works by just calling it. So here I'm just assigning a variable number which is equal to prime. I'm calling the function with the value 10. So it should return how many prime numbers are present within that 0 to 10. Okay, I will just print it to see the result. Now if we run this, okay, we should change the condition in the while loop here because it's stopping at 2 comma 4. So it should go till number. So now you can see our prime numbers from 0 to 30 is printed in the screen, and totally 10 prime numbers are there. So if we pass 10, we can see the prime numbers as 2, 3, 5, and 7. So our code is working perfectly fine. And so that's it for this video. I hope you found this video interesting. And if you have any doubts, just post them in the comment section. And if you feel this video useful, please do like, share, and subscribe to What We Know. Thanks for watching. Meet you in the next video.